Can you all hear Leslie? No.
I cannot hear.
Jesse, can you hear us? We can't hear Leslie's microphone. No, you either, but we were hearing you fine before.
After a serious deduction, we discovered we were on mute. So,
So Carrie, I just did the whole rundown about the hybrid and all the regular necessities that we go through before the meeting. Now we're just going into the public session.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, which one? All right, let me go. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do the Zoom part again, if that's okay. Board members joining via Zoom must keep their cameras on when voting. Tonight's meeting is being streamed live on our YouTube channel, and a transcript will be recorded and archived there for public access. Signups for the public hearings. There is no public hearing again tonight, and public sessions were available in advance, and paper signups are available outside of this room tonight until a few minutes. While we encourage advanced signups, you may still sign up tonight, and all comments are limited to 1 minute. And I'm going to hand it over to our first Vice Chair, Josephine Ishmon, to handle the public session.
Thank you, Leslie. How many people do we have online that have questions? Just what?
Or at least sign up in advance. Some of them might still also be in this room. They just doubled up, so you should have 2 of them first.
All right. So if we could line up 3 at a time so we can try to save some time here. We have Scott McCormick, Noah J, Pam Raganovan. Okay. Do you want to come up? Yes.
That's what you're doing now.
Right.
The 3 of you who just got called should come up and they'll speak at for 1 minute each.
Yes. So Scott is first. No, thank you, Jesse. Scott McCormick, and then it's Noah, and then Pam.
Good evening, everyone. I live directly across the street of 530 West 27th, the proposed nightclub. We know we're asking the board to reconsider the recommendation of its own BLP committee, and we have enormous respect for the committee's work, and we understand the institutional weight of what we're asking, but please hear us, the neighbors, out, because we wouldn't be here if we didn't believe that this is imposing a huge burden on us. First, we want to point out that on page 3 of their filing, they still say yes to outside promoters being used on a regular basis. And then in their additional stipulations, they say they won't. But we'd like to remind the committee that this operator took absolutely no responsibility for the disasters that we had over the last 4 months that caused total nightmare chaos on our blocks. We also ask you to ensure that there's no wiggle room in their legal language that enables them to turn any floor or combination of floors, and there's 7 of them, into giant one-off nightclubs like they did with the Twilight Revival. It's really unclear in their filing what is permissible and not permissible on all these floors, or even which are connected with internal stairs.
Thank you so much, Scott. Okay, Noah, you've got 1 minute.
1 minute. So when I'm at the Jardine across the street, when they did these 4 events over the last 9 months, the New Year's Eve, Twilo, etc., our block became a scene that was crazy. There were club lines, people speaking till 4 in the morning, ambulance at one point, SUV, taxis, and backed up traffic. You could not sleep. At the May 13th meeting, the operators explained it wasn't their fault. They blamed outside promoters, that they would not rent to one-off times. Now they're asking for a permanent nightclub license, and in the amended filing, they're still using outside promoters. They're permitting a 1,000-person nightclub into 2 a.m. in the morning, 7 nights a week. This is going to create a total nightmare. We still have Marquee and Hotel Alameda on the roof, which is very loud. It's really just not attainable, and there's going to be a crazy amount of people, and it's simply not a place that we can live in.
Exactly 1 minute. Okay, thank you. Pam.
Hello, I just want to speak about what we already have on our block. We have Marquee, one of the largest nightclubs in Manhattan, on the corner of 27th and 10th, open till 4 a.m. multiple times a week. The dispersal from Marquee reaches our block. It already requires heavy security, barricades, blocks, and we have 2 extra lanes of traffic. We've also got Hotel Alameda High Line, formerly Hotel Americano. We also have Selena, also formerly Selena Chelsea, and we have years worth of unresolved 311 calls where we complain about the noise which is going on, but the city seems to be able to do nothing to stop it, and now we're heaping another nightclub on top of what we already have. Within 750 feet of the Jardine, we also have 18 active on-premise liquor licenses plus one pending. At the BLP committee on May the 12th, sorry.
Sorry about that. Okay, we have Amir Kandani, Todd Babager, Keith Heller. If you could all come here. Okay, are you Amir? Okay.
Thank you. I also live at Jardine. I want to flag a couple of structural issues with what's in front of you today. The application lists 8 program levels with 1,799, 1,800 people capacity, but nowhere in the offering they say how many people can be there at any given time. We checked your own archives over the last 10 years, last 15 years. The previous operation that was in this location had a capacity of 700 people with very specific stipulations of why 700 was the maximum that area could support. We have children growing up on that street. We just cannot have that kind of operation there. I strongly encourage the board to reconsider the approval and strongly ask you to put a maximum capacity of 700 people at any given time in writing. We have children growing up on that street. We just cannot have this.
Thank you. My name is Todd Fabacher. I've been a property owner and resident in Chelsea for 17 years, and I will tell you that this is preposterous. I'm on the 7th floor, which is directly across, and I can tell you it would be almost impossible to live in such situation. The main thing I'm looking for is amplified noise. They specifically asked for a variance for amplified noise, which would fundamentally send the noise almost 1,500 feet, which is ridiculous. There's no other venue in Chelsea that has that license, and they've asked for it. On a side note, on the final moment, if I have time, I want to specifically let all the board members know that the developer of this property was the same developer that built our property. They sold us on the fact that we could build a family-orientated building that we would invest in community. So that's exactly what we have. We have a wonderful community building with dozens of children. They made millions of dollars, and now they want to turn it into an overnight nightclub. It's ridiculous.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so next we have Eric Shout, Craig Spolsky, and Josh Fu. Eric?
So I think one issue we have is that the May 12th BLP meeting was missing critical information. Specifically, a sound study that was dated one day before the meeting was not released to the public. And this sound study matters a lot because it contradicts key representations made by the operator. Specifically in March, our condo directly raised the issues with intense bass and noise pollution with the operator, and they responded in writing saying they had already invested in, quote, noise proofing and other legal requirements for our activity. But the sound study clearly states that's exactly the opposite. It says, quote, the ground floor and cellar did not have any sound attenuation measures present. They even note visible sunlight coming in through large open air gaps around the doors. In other words, they've been operating this as a nightclub with effectively holes in the doors. I think this speaks to their lack of credibility, their misrepresentations to us over the past 8 months, and general chaos that this has caused for our neighborhood.
Hi, everyone. Craig Spolsky, also a resident at Jardine, the building directly across from the proposed project. The recommendation rests on an applicant who, in our view, has already demonstrated disregard for the concerns of nearby residents. It rests on outreach that never occurred with many of the people most directly affected by this proposal. It also rests on a track record that already includes 4 recent documented nights of street disruption that the operator attributed to outside promoters. And it would introduce a new nightclub where one has not existed for approximately 25 years on a street that has become increasingly residential over time. Let me be clear, we value the arts. One of the reasons why we all live in New York and in Chelsea because of the arts and cultural institutions, but approving a major new nightclub on a residential street because it is expected to subsidize immersive theater asks a great deal of the surrounding community, a community that has changed greatly over time, particularly given the operator's recent actions.
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh. I also live nearby, and I'll just quickly echo everything my neighbors have said. I won't repeat all their points, but it has made living there really, really detrimental to even my own personal mental health. So I strongly urge the board to please reconsider this application. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Josh. All right, next we've got Jacqueline Leung, Ron Wasinski, and I believe Donna Langhorn. Hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jacqueline. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator at Hudson River Park Trust, and we're very excited to share with you our upcoming summer programming today. So our Healthy on the Hudson series returned this week with free fitness classes, including yoga, Pilates, and HIIT. Our Big City Fishing program will also be starting June 13th with free catch and release events for all ages. And this week, we're also celebrating the Youth Pride Fest in partnership with the Hetrix Martin Institute for a day of fun, live music, and resources. In terms of our educational programming, our wet lab aquarium is also opening this Saturday, and we'll have free tours on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, as well as monthly Signs After Dark events. And lastly, I want to mention that our staff will be at the next CB4 Waterfront Parks and Environment Committee to discuss the West 29th to 44th Street Esplanade. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Ron Wisniewski. I'm representing the E-Vehicle Safety Alliance tonight. I'm here because of the division that the e-bikes have caused in our city, a deep division. And it was represented last night on 72nd Street in the redesign of 72nd Street. It got pretty ugly up there. I didn't go. I went to the Congressional Forum, and I was glad not to hear the word e-bike for one evening. But I just want to point out that Christine and I are on opposite sides of this issue, but we've worked together. We've reached out to each other, and we've come to we have a letter for you tonight that we agree on 100%, all of us, right, Jesse? And it is about the sexy subject of battery charging cabinets. And so I hope you all will support that letter. I also want to shout out to Dan Wagner, who's the project manager of the 9th Avenue redesign, who, as it takes shape, obviously heard everything that I suggested, and I'm very grateful to him for that. Colleen Chattergoon, who's the DOT liaison, and Elaine Shea, who was a young lady who knows a lot about battery charging cabinets, and I never knew that was a subject they taught in school. So thank you all, and thank you, Christine, thank you, Jesse, thank you, Transportation Committee. Vote yes on that letter.
Okay, thank you. Donna.
Good evening. My name is Donna Langman. I'm a small business owner and a board member at 520 West 27th Street, which is a commercial condominium. I'm here to reiterate our board's opposition to the current application of 530 West 27th Street. Many of you may not be aware of the history of this block. Myself and my neighbors have met with the community board before with many of the same concerns. A number of years back, when the city rezoned this neighborhood, the intention was to encourage residential development. At the time, there were numerous clubs on this block. The nightlife was so overwhelming that the only way the police could control the chaos was to barricade the street and station emergency vehicles on the block every Friday and Saturday night. This meant that those of us who were part of this city-sanctioned new development were often obstructed from reaching our own properties and were left to deal with the trash-strewn street on Monday. At this moment, it seems that we are sliding right back to those days. I'm disheartened to see that the committee may be willing to disregard the quality of life of so many residents, people who live and work and pay a lot of property taxes here, all being overlooked for the benefit of possibly just one club owner. I encourage you to reconsider this application.
Thank you, Donna. Okay, next we've got Jeffrey LaFrancois, Matt Quanitz, I think I'm saying his name right, Quanitz, and Layla Ginslow. If you could just line up over here and Jeffrey.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeffrey LaFrancois, former member of this board, former chair of the board, former co-chair of WPE, and I'm here tonight to talk about nothing on the agenda, but I am here to thank somebody who's going to be saying goodbye. His name is Jesse Bodine, and we are so lucky to have had him committed to this neighborhood, to this organization for a decade plus now. If you want to improve something, talk to Jesse Bodine. His commitment to process, his commitment to transparency, his commitment to consensus is unmatched in this city of 8.5 million and 51 community boards across 5 boroughs. His time spent on the phone with chairs, Madam Chair, previous chair, myself, is just remarkable. And it should take so much more than 2 minutes to give you these accolades, but thank you from me, a former chair. And yes, really, Jesse, thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Hi, Matt, if you just want to state your name again.
Hi, I'm Matthew Quatnitz. I'm the general manager for the club that's been talked about so much. We actually call it Culture Club because it is a theatrical club. I was previously executive vice president for EDC. I ran 65 million square feet in real estate, including managing the 42nd Street Theater District, saving a historic recording studio here in CB4 in partnership with Berklee School of Music, and designing the Affordable Real Estate for Artists program, which is the largest preservation of artist space in the United States. I worked with other mayors, not enough time to talk about that, but this is what Culture Club will be. We understand and we apologize that for 6 months, we tried to operate it with outside promoters. The fact is that we've stipulated not to do that. So most of the comments that have been stated are irrelevant to our future operation. So I hope that you'll look at that. We have announced a new Tony Award-winning collaboration for Memoirs of Amherst Gentlemen that is about to open in the nightclub, and it will be named as a nightclub like Moulin Rouge is. We have Heated Rivalry running upstairs. We have a ballet opening tomorrow that I hope you come to. It is true that we plan to serve music or have music and food for artist performers around the city, as most of their places have been gentrified away throughout the city. So I hope you'll look at the actual application, and we look forward to hearing the committee's decision.
Thank you so much. Okay, Layla.
Thank you so much. Good evening. I'm Layla Logisico, Democratic District Leader representing Chelsea. I just want to bring your attention to the fiscal year 2027 budget that was just announced a couple of weeks ago. In this budget, the administration is proposing to allocate $1.5 billion, as billion is with a B, as a subsidy to private developers to incentivize the conversion to Section 8 RAT Pact from Section 9. These funds would be better used for the support of comprehensive modernization of Section 9 buildings. And I urge this board to take a position. I want to also flag that there will be a public hearing at the City Council on June 10th, in which testimony will be permitted. And I urge everyone who is concerned with this issue to go and testify. Thank you.
Thank you, Layla. Is Lisa Wager here? There she is.
Thank you. Hi, well, first, before I'm time, Jesse, Jesse, I'm going to miss you so much. You're a legend of community service, really. Okay, I'm composing myself. Hello, I'm Lisa Wager, Director of Government Community Relations at the Fashion Institute of Technology, the SUNY on West 27th Street, between 7th and 8th, with the Residence Hall on 31st Street, west of 9th in the district. I'm here with an FIT update. Today, FIT released a Harris Poll survey commissioned by the College of over 2,000 U.S. adults, revealing the value of creative careers, barriers to entry, and the urgent need to reimagine how creative talent is developed, supported, and connected to opportunity through accessible education. More than 7 in 10 Americans believe AI has made it difficult to find employment in creative industries. At the same time, 90% agree that a mix of hands-on creative education and real-world industry experience is essential for preparing students for modern careers in general. In New York City, long considered the fashion capital of the world, fashion-related jobs have declined almost 30% over the past decade, reflecting the broader shifts across the entire creative economy. In response to these findings, FIT President Jason Schupbeck announced the launch today of FIT Future Forward, an institutional strategy designed to identify opportunities and expand access to creative careers through, I need like 10 more seconds, through collaboration across disciplines, schools, and industries. The initiative reflects FIT's broader mission to become the laboratory for creative careers in the 21st century, a place for experimentation, discovery, and reinvention while creating real-world opportunities for students across industries, including fashion, beauty, business, and beyond. Under Schupbeck's leadership, FIT aims to reinforce New York City's role as a global center for creative innovation. One sentence. And FIT is an access college. In-state tuition per semester for a bachelor's degree costs less than $3,600, and for an associate degree, $2,800. So come on down.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone for understanding. We have to be out of here at a certain time. So we have a number of people online. Jesse's going to call your name and you'll have 1 minute and I'll be timing you.
All right, Keith Heller, I just brought you over so you can start.
Yeah, hi, sorry. Did you just so I'm clear, did you say only 1 minute for those of
Yes.
us online?
Yes.
Okay. I'll be very quick. So thanks for the time. Very quickly. So as it relates to the community outreach in the application, the application lists meeting dates with community groups as TBD, contacts each group as TBD. There were 0 documented meetings with any residential buildings on the block. Certainly not our building at 527 West 27th Street. I'm speaking in regards to 530 West 27th Street. So the outreach fell way short, as not a single resident was aware of this. Additionally, Harlan Berger, who built our building at 527 West 27th Street, sat on the board of Jardine with me. And Harlan, as president of the board, didn't show up to board meetings, shrugged off a bunch of issues in the building. And so as I think about potential issues with this site and whether they'll actually be remedied by Harlan and Centaur, there's a track record that suggests that'll never happen. And thus gives me a ton of concerns. So we have a few leave behinds that we left. We'll ask you to please, the board and others, please do read those. We spent a lot of time going through that and put a lot of thought into it. So thanks so much and appreciate the consideration.
Thank you. Next.
I have Emily G. I have 2, but I have only one of you listed here to speak. So
Hi, yes, that's me. My name is Emily Shia. My husband and I moved into the Jardine this year after getting married because we saw this as a neighborhood where we could build a long-term home. That is why preserving its residential livability is so important to us. And I want to provide some context that I've invested in West End musical productions and am a singer myself, so I am not against the arts or business, but I am simply a resident who cares about basic quality of life. Since moving here, my husband and I have experienced late night noise disruptions that have woken us from sleep in the middle of the night. The noise has come from nightlife establishments across the street and has been clearly audible inside our apartment despite our windows being closed. This has given us firsthand experience with the very real impact that late night entertainment venues can have on nearby residents. The effects do not end when the music stops. We feel them the next day through lost sleep, fatigue, and diminished quality of life. For that reason, I am very concerned about the prospect of additional late night activity becoming a regular occurrence 7 days a week. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a basic quality of life issue. As the board evaluates this proposal, I respectfully ask that you consider not only the benefits to the business, but also the cumulative impact on the residents who call this neighborhood home. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
David Lynn.
Hi there. My name is David. I'm here to urge the City Council to amend the New York City Housing Maintenance Code to shorten the mandated heat season from May 31st to May 15th. I'm a constituent. I live on the corner of 22nd and 9th. Like hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers, I live in a 2-pipe building, which means that HVAC systems can only provide building-wide heating or cooling and not both. And so because building management is actually afraid of violating the mandate if nighttime temperatures briefly dip below 55, they actually delay the switch over to air conditioning. There are consequences for constituents such as public health risks from the apartments exceeding 90 degrees, energy waste, etc. This has become a greater problem due to climate change causing warmer springs. And I think this is like an active public health hazard. So yeah, I'd really appreciate the opportunity to speak with a city council office or HPD about introducing this legislation. Thanks.
Thank you.
Marcus Ducon.
Yeah, hi, this is Marcus. I'm the president of the board at 520 West 27th Street. And I have submitted 2 letters, one last time and one this time. And want to reiterate that from our side and on behalf of the entire board, we strongly oppose the submission. I think a very important part is that this entire area, and I stated in my letter, was rezoned and is part of the special West Chelsea district. And it really is not a nightclub district anymore. And developers have been encouraged and people have been encouraged to move there and to turn it into a residential area. And I think, and I'm going to read from the West Chelsea district resolution, it is designed to promote and protect public health, safety, general welfare, and amenity. And I think it is totally fine to have an establishment there like Sleep No More was. I think the problem is that the opening hour at 4 a.m. or the closing hour is way too late. And I think we are in support of it if the opening hours are adjusted to reflect what was manageable before.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Messini.
Yes, how's it going? I am also opposing 530 West 27th Street. I own 4 condo units, 20% of 520 West 27th Street, which is right next door. And we've had several issues with security, with everyone coming out of the club drunk, busting bottles against our building, all these champagne glasses and shoots. I've had to hire security on a lot of their pop-ups like Twyla, which has cost me a lot of money. On Halloween, when they do Halloween pop-ups. I work in the music industry. I'm vice president of our board at 520, and I work for a high-profile music artist. And it's crazy. Some of the nights are really crazy with our garage. We have a garage. It gets blocked for hours. We have to call 911 or 311. Nobody even at the club, like they just park and block our garage, so we're trapped in. You know, people need to come in and out. We have about 28 spaces of a garage. So it's definitely problematic because of how they're expanding it, you know, and how they want to expand it. It's a residential block at this point. It's just not fair. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pasha. Pasha, you have to come off mute and turn on your camera if you'd like to speak.
Oh, hello. Yes, just 1 second. Hi, I'm Pasha Radetsky. I am at 369 West 36th Street at the corner of 9th Avenue, and we have a restaurant that's open next door, the same landlord, and we spoke about it before as they applied for liquor license. I don't know if they're reapplying again, but essentially they refusing to install the proper exhaust system, which is mandated by mechanical New York City code, which is called up blast fan. And so they're frying day and night. It starts from 8 in the morning and goes until 11 p.m. And all this burnt oil goes into our windows, and we cannot open the windows. And now the summer is coming. I live and work here. It makes me sick. And so I just need some sort of help to deal with this establishment. And the restaurant is called Don Bay, and it's at 367 West 36th Street.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can. Sure.
You should email our district manager's office. We can connect with you later to try to get you some help on that. Okay, next.
Thank you so much. District manager.
That's right. I'm bringing over Emily Z again, but I believe this is someone else just using the same account, or no? Emily?
Oh, this is Lisa Stoner. I don't know
Oh,
why. I
okay.
think Emily just
You're
yeah.
listed under Emily. Got it. Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah. All right. I think so. the applicant submitted a petition with 39 signatories in support. So the same development we've been talking about. We've reviewed every signer and address. Only one signer resides in the immediate neighborhood, 535 West 24th, one of 39. Most of the signers are from Brooklyn, Harlem, or distant districts. Multiple letters of support used word for word identical template phrasing, such as responsible stewards and outstanding partners. One signer admitted when contacted that they wrote their letter as a personal favor to Harlan after a direct plea. And at least one signer is the deputy stage manager of the death of Rasputin, an employee of the venue's own operation. So I really want to focus also on whether the stipulations the committee negotiated can actually be enforced, because I have read them carefully, and the honest answer is no, not as currently written. One, there's nothing binding that explicitly lays out what is permitted in each of the 7 interior floors. Nothing restricts basement and first floor clubs from operating other floors. Nothing explicitly defines what the other 5 floors can or cannot be used for. 2, what's the enforceability of the proposal to end music 30 minutes before closing? Even with that stipulation, a 1,000 person club open until 2 a.m.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I've come to the end of the list of folks who had their hand raised. I've attempted to bring over some folks who had signed in advance, but they are continuing to decline. So if you have registered in advance, yes, there we go. Thank you. Okay. All right, so when I ask you to come on over, you have to accept. That's how that's going to work.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, Phil, you can go ahead.
Great, thank you. Phil Dorn, representing the applicant at West 27th. There was mention earlier about commitment to process. I ask that everyone please try to do their best to honor the process that CB4 has in place. We spent nearly 2 hours working with the BLP committee at their meeting and a ton of more time offline working with dozens of local stakeholders, discussing every detail of the business plan to come to a resolution that worked for almost everybody. I say almost because it's worth noting that it was a unanimous vote to approve this application, minus just one committee member. This was an exercise of compromise and of finding middle ground, and I am confident that both sides were able to do just that. The concerns people raised tonight were all raised and addressed at the committee meeting, which was the appropriate time to have this discussion. And I hope that Frank or someone from BLP will acknowledge that later. The applicant conceded massively on their operation: hours, music, use of different floors. The stipulations we put in place address the concerns that people raised tonight, all while allowing an important arts venue to open. Changing the vote now after a nearly unanimous vote from the BLP committee would be unfair and would seemingly be an insult to those who spent hours working towards this resolution.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Max Bookman.
Hi, Max Bookman. I'm an attorney also representing the applicant. I just want to provide a little additional context on the current state of play at the State Liquor Authority. Just 2 days ago, the State Liquor Authority issued a unanimous advisory to the industry and to community boards, putting boards on notice that the Liquor Authority, supported by the governor, are going to be taking additional steps to support music, culture, dance venues. Compromise is key in the liquor license process. You have an opportunity to put stipulations on this venue that address the concerns that were put forth today. If by contrast you just vote to deny this application, I'm telling you the State Liquor Authority is not going to outright deny this application. They're going to approve it, and you might not get the same deal as you hope to get. So I think you should respect the BLP committee vote, hear what Frank has to say when he expounds on it later, and let's put some stipulations on this license that could work. Not everybody is going to be happy with it, but it's compromise, and that's what the SLA process is all about. Thank you.
Anita.
Hi, Anita McDonough, 333 West 56th Street. I'm here today to voice my opposition to the e-battery charging station on the southeast corner of 9th and 55th. It's in front of a residential building, and it should be moved to a less busy corner / location. At the same time, I want to thank Jeffrey for the shout out for Jesse. Jesse, I want to thank you. I'm going to miss you so much. You have been above and beyond fabulous. You've just always invited me in, asked me to participate. You've just been such such a wonderful member of CB4, and you're going to be missed. I don't know how you can be replaced. It's impossible. So thank you, Jesse.
Thank you very much, Anita. That was very kind words. Moving on, Leslie Sloan.
Hello, I'm Leslie Sloan. I am a Chelsea resident since 2002 and a PS 11 parent since 2016. I'm speaking this evening in support of the letter in front of you today honoring the retirement of Principal Bob Bender. Our family, and with my husband Brian, who's a CB4 member, and especially our three sons, have been tremendous beneficiaries of Bob's commitment to educating students of all backgrounds and levels of access to opportunity. I've worked closely with Bob on the PTA executive board and have been blown away by his ability to work within the structure of the DOE to create a magical school environment filled with learning within the classroom and through experiences like camping trips and a trip to Washington, D.C., experiences not every public school has access to. I've often said that if Bob Bender could be replicated across New York City, so many challenges we face with education in our city would be overcome. Bob is adored and will be missed at PS 11. I urge you to support the letter before you tonight.
Thank you.
Michael Harachi.
Hello?
Yes, we hear you, Michael. Go ahead. Your 1 minute starts now.
Yitzhak Wasser Halof said, "A blessing on the one who seizes babies and dashes them against the rocks." Cabinet Minister of Israel Amahai Ben Elahu called on the bombing of humanitarian aid to Gaza, calling on starving Gazans, and he called on bombing Gaza with nuclear weapons. The finance minister of Israel, Bezalel Smotrich, said it must be just and moral to starve 2 million Gaza residents and supports the Greater Israel project of annexing the West Bank and beyond into other nations like Jordan, and that Palestinians are not real. In Israel, he organized the anti-LGBT parade called Beast March, claiming farm animals they forced to march had less sin than queer people. The same minister who called on for segregating Jewish and Arab mothers in maternity wards are the same people that marched alongside New York Attorney General Tish James, among many other New York politicians.
Thank you. Thank you.
I call on this.
That's your minute. Thank you.
And finally, Kim Hoover.
Hi, thank you. I'm Kim Hoover. I live at 540 West 28th Street. I also own a second apartment in this building. I happen to be the president of the condo association. I'm supporting the project on 27th Street at 530 West 27th Street. I think it's really important that we continue to preserve arts and music and theater, the heritage of West Chelsea. I think these people are totally respectful of the neighborhood. And so I urge you to stick with the approval that's in place. Thank you.
That concludes our
you.
public.
Well, actually, there's one more.
Oh,
I'm the last person on the public session this evening, and I want to also give my thanks and gratitude to Jesse Bodine. I first met Jesse 10 years ago, I think, when I was on the CEC. Jesse did not know me, I did not know him, and I was trying to get laundry aid for students in temporary housing. It was a very heated discussion with DHS, and at some point, I looked over my shoulder and I saw this man just basically do this. And I knew instinctively that he meant take the temperature down. And I certainly did. And I left there with laundry aid for kids. But more importantly, I also learned a lot about how to handle a meeting. And so Jesse was mentoring me before he even knew who I was. And I knew who he was. So I just want to say thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you. And thank you, Josephine. You all have a copy of the agenda. Are there any changes? Greg or Katie? Sorry. Well, she said yes. Go ahead.
Yep, that's fine.
Yes. That's that.
Testing, testing.
Yep. Good. Great. We just want to, as co-chairs of CLUE, we want to move that item 32 be sent back to committee for further discussion. And just to let everyone know who hasn't heard, we had a letter for tonight because the BSA was supposed to be meeting in a couple of weeks and we wanted to submit a letter. But now the hearing has been moved back till the very end of July. So our committee can review this and then we can bring it back to full board in July before the
Great. Are there,
BSA hearing.
great. Are there any objections to that? No? Okay. Anyone else? Joe and Maria?
Yes, item number 23, we need to table it's a inclusionary housing development, and the developer did not get us back his commitment letter. So we want to table that to the next meeting.
Great. Are there any objections to that? No? Great. With no objections, do I have a motion to adopt? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Present and eligible? Okay, that's the agenda. Also, can we get a motion to adopt last minutes? Thank you. Thank you. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Present not eligible? Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move to the elected officials that are slated to speak today. Why don't we start off, since I see the borough president is here. Do you want to do the update, or is it going to be the update, or is it going to be Jonah, or someone's going to do? You want to do the update? That's a little, yeah. Sure. Okay.
I can do whatever I want. I don't want to jump ahead of our council member. And I like this mic. Hello? Oh, how do you turn it on?
Yes. Take me to your leader.
Good evening, Brad Hoylman Siegel, your Manhattan Borough President. Congratulations to all the new community board members. A round of applause. And my team, Jonah is here, Jonah Rose, and of course E is here, and Tyler is here. Marielle Ali, who's our Director of Community Affairs, organized it. We really took a page out of Gail Brewer's book. Gail said to me, focus on attendance, and that's what we did throughout the reappointment process. But thanks to my team for getting everything together and getting our appointments out the door. And look forward to working with you very closely. Just a couple of things before I turn to the man of the hour. I went to Rome recently, and yes, on my own dime, and signed, I want to make that clear, signed a cultural compact with the city center of Rome in Manhattan, where the idea being that we want to bring over some architectural, classical Renaissance treasures from Rome that don't see the light of day because they don't have enough gallery space to show all of the art that they have. And so we're working on an exchange with the city center of Rome. So look forward to that. We have handed out $50 million of your tax dollars through our capital granting program. And we're committing the entirety of it to arts and cultural institutions. So hopefully you'll see some benefits of that in the near future. I testified before Gail and the other council members, including Councilmember Wilson. Congratulations, by the way, on your election. Before the Cultural Affairs and the Libraries Committee and the Housing Committee, so far we have approved 1,400 new units of housing in Manhattan through our ULURP process, working with both council members who are here as well as the chairs of the Housing Committee. And we have released today, which you can see on our website, a very detailed report on dog waste using comparative 311 data to what we're calling a report card of community board by community board to see how your board fares compared to others in dog waste collection. One of the things that we found is that there's a correlation, for example, in Upper Manhattan, which has the most dog waste complaints, and there being fewer trash waste bins and virtually no dog waste bag dispensers available for the community's use. And I know the council's looking at that issue. The final thing is that we are appointing a new borough organizer to launch our Manhattan Tenants Union. And some of you, I think, may know the individual hasn't been publicly announced yet, but it'll be an exciting venture to organize tenants through the Manhattan Borough President's Office. So looking forward to that. But let me turn to what's really important, which is a commendation. I always need help. There you go. Okay. I know. They really do wrap the proclamations well in my office, but I'm here to present a proclamation. I'll be very brief to your district manager, to our district manager, Jesse Bodine, who's devoted nearly 2 decades of extraordinary public service to the people of New York City, serving with intelligence, humor, grace, and an unflappable calmness in the face of every challenge. Jesse has served with distinction as Director of Community Development in the Land Use Division of the Manhattan Borough President's Office under the one and only Gail Brewer. In 2014, following his year as Director of Constituent Services and Policy for Councilmember Gail Brewer from 2008 to 2013, where he earned the admiration of colleagues and constituents for his thoughtful leadership and steadfast dedication. And whereas Jesse's commitment to public service began even years earlier as an intern for State Senator Liz Kruger and extended internationally through 4 years of service in the Peace Corps, proving there is indeed a long road from managing a village in Africa to managing Manhattan Community Board 4. A journey he navigated with remarkable skill. And from November 17, 2014 through June 5th, 2026, Jesse served as our district manager of CB4, guiding the board through moments both historic and chaotic, with wisdom, professionalism, and a uniquely steady temperament. And whereas Jesse possessed a singular talent for helping constituents feel heard and respected, though when disagreements arose, they occasionally became memorable, including the time bus operators sued over a denied stop on West 42nd Street. And whereas Jesse Bodine leaves behind a legacy of integrity, resilience, innovation, and deep commitment to the communities of Manhattan's West Side, along with countless stories that will continue to inspire laughter and admiration for years to come. Therefore, I, Brad Hoylman Siegel, Manhattan Borough President, do hereby commend Jesse Bodine for his contributions to the city and borough and proclaim today, Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026, as Jesse Bodine Appreciation Day. Yeah, there's a. Where's the mouth? Can you come in right here? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will go to, I believe, Nicole, you said Senator Bottcher is online? Okay. No, do you want to come up, Nicole, or we're just going to go right to Eric? Okay, can you bring Eric over? Do you see him?
Is he on your? He's on yours? Yeah, okay.
We're bringing him over. I think there are 2 working ones. Senator.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we could hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, it's so great to be here, everyone. I just stepped off the floor. We're in a marathon session, last 2 days of session for the rest of the year. And I'm very excited to be here and give you a quick update But first, I want to say a word about Jesse Bodine. I, like all of you, was so sad to hear that Jesse was going to be moving on, because we've come to rely on Jesse so much for so many things. And Jesse, we've been through a lot together. One day we're going to look back at all we've been through together. The pandemic alone and everything that happened after the pandemic, all those issues that we worked through, hundreds of hours on Zooms, all those meetings, all those walkthroughs, all those site visits. And Jesse, the reason that you've excelled at this job is because you care. You want to get to a solution for people, and you care deeply about the subject matter, and you care deeply about the community. And that's why you've been a phenomenal district manager. And it's going to be hard to find someone for that role. Whoever takes over that role is going to hear again and again and again that they've got big shoes to fill. They're going to hear it over and over and over, because you've just done such a phenomenal job. And I, like the borough president, we have a little something to give you. I understand it's going to be delivered separately, but I might as well just tell you that we too, in the state of New York, are declaring June 3rd, 2026, Jesse Bodine Day in the state of New York. So we're gonna
Nicole, if you want to, you could come up now.
bring it on up. Thank you so much. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, Senator. And we have it here. We
oh, I see it. I can see it. Yeah. I wish I was there. I really, really do. I can't think of anyone more deserving. Oh, and by the way, it's from Senator Liz Kruger as well. Who, by
Not
the
a
way,
footnote.
yes, and by the way, Liz Kruger is doing exceptionally well. And I talk to her like every day. She's like working away from the city, and she's very much integral to the budget and the legislative process that's happening right now. And she's watching everything live. She's like texting us as the things are going on. But Jesse, congratulations again. As I mentioned, we are in the end of the legislative session. I want to point out something particularly significant that happened in the state budget that affects people in our district, and that is the fact that we raised the income limit for SCREE and DREE, the senior rent income exemption and the disabilities rent income exemption. And that's important because previously it was at $50,000. And as Social Security payments increased, as they should, and other kinds of payments, people were getting put over the income limit. And when that happens, they lose their home. So we upped it to $75,000 in the budget. And that's going to help a lot of the people who've been, frankly, laying awake at night. So we're very excited about that. A couple legislative items. Yesterday, we passed something I've been working on since I got elected to the Senate, and a huge priority of mine and of gun safety advocates for years, and that is Francesco's law, which will require safe storage of all firearms in New York State. So from going forward, once Kathy Hochul signs the bill, if you've got a firearm, when you're not using it, it's got to be locked up. This is one of those, I can't believe it wasn't already a laws. And it's universal, whether you have a kid in the house or not. Named after a young man named Francesco who took his life with an unsecured firearm. Really big day here in the Capitol yesterday. We also passed artist housing. The Senate passed it. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as though it's going to pass the Assembly. Artist housing would allow New York to create more places like Manhattan Plaza, West Beth, that have artist set-asides by clarifying the human rights law to that they are allowed to do it if it, in a city administered program. Really important legislation that we passed. We passed my legislation extending joint bidding, which is for public works projects like street construction, Con Ed work, utility work. Joint bidding allows those to proceed faster and prevents work stoppages when the scope of work changes. We've extended it by 1 year. Next year, we're going to come back and we're going to do a longer extension. Locally, we've been working closely with Community Ward 4 on the Port Authority bus terminal project, making sure that as that project starts picking up steam, that the overnight construction is not getting out of hand. It's going to have overnight construction, obviously, but we want to make sure that the community's at the table and that they're being transparent about when it's going to be, but taking all the mitigation factors. So I'm not going to go on and on, but I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I want to thank Leslie Boghosian Murphy for chairing the board and all the members of the board for all your good work.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you very much. And you know what? This might be as good times anyway, Nate, if you, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Eric, do you mind? We have one question. Do you mind
Sure.
staying on for one question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Eric, this is Marty. Thank you for your work.
Hey, Marty.
I other than what's on the Senate website for the recycling, the Packaging Reduction Recycling Infrastructure Act, the website says on the Senate floor. Can you give us any information about the progress of this bill? It's
I
I'll
regret
give you a
to
number if you need it.
Yeah, I regret to inform you that it doesn't look as though the Package Reduction and Recycling Act is going to come to a vote this year. The sponsor, Pete Harcum, the Senate sponsor, the Assembly sponsor is Deborah Glick. Peter Harcum informed us that it didn't look like it, that the negotiations broke down. They didn't land the plane. Very sad, very disappointing, because this is an important bill for me. Those of you who know me know that single-use plastics is one of my big issues, and we need to reduce the amount of plastics that we consume as a society. And I was really disappointed to hear that it's not going to come to a vote. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of that news, but I want to next year be part of the team that really helps get this over the finish line.
In spite of that bad news, I'm hoping that the board will approve a letter that's on the agenda for tonight.
Please.
Supporting
Yeah,
the
we
letter.
need it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, everyone. I hope to see you in person soon.
Thank you. And speaking, Liz Kruger, we're just going to segue here. Nate, representing.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm Nate Browse from Senator Kruger's office. I, of course, was up before with Nicole. I want to thank Jesse at the end of this, but quickly, I do have a budget update. Of course, Senator Bottcher mentioned the screen injury being raised to $75,000 limit, which is huge for so many New Yorkers. As a housing staffer, that was one of the parts of the budget that I was most excited about. I also wanted to share a couple of huge changes, hopefully, that will address rising utility costs as a Con Ed ratepayer, as all of us are. It's extremely frustrating to keep paying more and more higher bills, but some of the changes in the budget this year are increased scrutiny of utility executive salaries, which is something that has become a huge issue. I believe it was like $20 million that the Con Ed CEO made in some capacity recently. And then also a limit on utility proposed rate increases to the rate of inflation when negotiating rate raises is hopefully going to address this in a major way by just having a lower starting point that the Public Service Commission will then negotiate off of. And then lastly, there's been a change in the law that will now ensure that if the Public Service Commission rejects a utility's proposed rate hike, utility companies will not automatically receive the increase that they requested, which was previously the policy. So that had been a huge barrier in, forcing the Public Service Commission to agree to less than ideal terms, and that led to rates being higher than they should have been for a long time. And then I do have one community event that I want to share with everybody. We'll be hosting a NILAG legal clinic that you can sign up for right now. We have a lot of open slots. That'll be on Tuesday, June 30th at our district office, which is a block from Grand Central. So I know, we're the Upper East Side, but that's a little closer to our Chelsea folks. So I highly recommend calling our office to sign up at 212-490-9535 if you're looking for free legal help. And then lastly, I do want to personally thank Jesse because I started at Senator Krueger's office almost exactly a year ago as our office's community liaison to this board. I really didn't know what I was getting into. And I'm so happy to have had Jesse to, ease me into this and just be completely generous with his time in every, sense, answering every question I asked, even if they were, obvious to everyone else. And he's the best. Everyone told you, and they're right. I think, it's going to be hard to replace him, but I'm going to miss you, Jesse. I really, your commitment to this area of the city and, the board and all of our, all of us liaisons is completely undeniable and has made it very easy to, become part of this group. So thank you so much, Jesse.
So for those of you who don't know, when we have our electeds, we usually split them up. Half go in 1 month and then half go the other month. It is not the council members' month this year. And, I don't really know much about it, but there was an election for city council. And, but Carl Wilson is here, and I do want to especially have him come up and introduce himself as our new council member.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Hello, everybody. It's really great to be here. This is a little bit of a full circle moment for me because Community Board 4 has played a major role in my career and my growth in the civic space. And to be back here as your council member is really a special feeling. And I'm really excited to continue our work together. I've been on the job for 3 weeks. And it's kind of an interesting time to join the council because it's right into the fire. We are in the peak of our budget season right now, like everybody else. We're in the middle of our executive budget hearings right now. I think the most pressing issue that we've dealt with so far in those hearings that relates to this community is the Department of Youth and Community Development issued a new RFP process that removed longtime after-school program Manhattan Youth from many schools in our district. It also took away another RFP process for community-based organizations, after-school programs, changed the RFP process and took away, awarded that RFP to someone else other than Hudson Guild, which has been a longtime provider of that after-school program. So we're obviously very concerned about that. At the council, we questioned the DYCD commissioner about this. They continue to double down, thanks that the RFP, that RFP process is important for innovation, and that might be all well and good, but we had programs here that were working, that were very popular, and it's extremely disruptive to our school communities and family communities that rely on these programs. So there's a coalition of us. I know Councilmember Brewer's here, also did a great line of questioning at the hearing as well. We're going to keep pressing on this. We're also all looking at our own budget allocations to figure out how we can plug the gaps, particularly in the community-based after-school program, so that they continue to have the resources they need to function in our community. And I think there's going to be a Department of Ed hearing next week. I'm sure there will be a fresh round of questions about this, but this is a tough one. But we're all looking at every option that we have to continue to ensure that these organizations have the ability to function in our community. Other than the council business, I have some district office business that has been underway. I have been staffing up. The last guy took everyone with him. So I had to start at zero, which is great. You know, it's an opportunity to kind of set the tone, bring in my own team. And I have some of them here tonight that I would like to introduce to you. My chief of staff, Hannah Moses, who is here. Hannah's a brilliant public servant and worked in council, well, then Councilmember Botcher's office as our legislative and budget director, so not new to the district. Some of you may know Ben Lowenstein. Ben is my deputy chief of staff and district director, be overseeing a lot of the constituent service work in the office. And then I'd like to introduce Shashank Shamsavad, who will be the Community Board 4 liaison. Shashank's a Hell's Kitchen resident, was almost appointed to Community Board 4 until I snatched him up. So you all will be getting to know him a lot. And of course, I plan to be as accessible and open and everywhere as my predecessor. And I really meant it. Nearly 10 years ago, when I decided I wanted to get into politics and government, one of the first things I did is I went to a Community Board 4 meeting. And because I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And so I heard about this meeting and I came to it, and Dolores Rubin was the chair. And I was like, wow, they got a lot going on in here. It was up at the hospital on 57th Street. So to that whole journey from then to now, I got hired as then Speaker Corey Johnson's Community Board 4 liaison. And this board has really been like grad school to me. There are incredible brains on this board who have served for a long time, who have been an immense part of my education and my preparing me for what I'm doing now. So and one of those people is this gentleman right here. Jesse is a mensch. And, when I was starting, I didn't know anything. I really didn't. I was a waiter and, was trying to be an actor. And so I would go to these meetings and, be terrified because this is tough stuff. This board deals with big, important, complicated issues. But Jesse was always there, always. He always answered the phone. He was an amazing mentor and big brother in many ways. And we're really gonna miss you. You've been an incredible force to this community. And, there are some personalities on the community board. And Jesse has always been cool as a cucumber, has always been a grounding presence in every meeting. Tough when he needs to be. I've definitely seen that too. And really thoughtful, really kind, and a wonderful teacher. I mean, what you said about caring for the liaisons, you really do. So I think we're going to heap a little more praise later. Well, I think the other council member is gonna speak, and then we'll come up. But I just want you to know that how important you've been to me, and you've fostered the council member. I mean, you really did. So it's great to come back in this role, but it's full circle also in a way that you're leaving. And I know, everybody's saying how wonderful you are. They're correct. But I really know firsthand because we worked, I called you all the time. We worked hand in hand for a long time. And it's a little insulting that you're leaving right as I become the council member, but I'm going to get over it. And but certainly whoever replaces you has big shoes to fill, and I'm going to miss you terribly. But thank you for all that you've done for this community. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. We have one more elected, I believe, here. Councilmember Gail Brewer. I'm doing so good.
Thank you. Just some issues before we talk about Jesse Bodine. One is pretty important, which is the mayor, you may have seen, has announced a charter revision commission. There will be, I'm just the messenger, there will be in all 5 boroughs, both in June and then July, there will be hearings. And the August 3rd is a deadline when the mayor's office has to give ideas for the ballot to the city clerk. And I happen to know that the first hearing you're going to have a heart attack is June 9th in Manhattan. It's going to be at the law school, at New York Law School from, I think, 5 to 8. And that's the first one that has been announced. And that topic is going to be infrastructure, 5 to 8 o'clock. Yes, it's going to be at 185 West Broadway this Tuesday, June 9th. There'll be another Manhattan one in July. Then Wednesday, June 10th, is at Fordham University in the Bronx, and that is strengthening government for small businesses and organizations. And then June 11th is the one in Brooklyn, at Brooklyn Law School, and that topic is going to be government and technology streamlining. Then there'll be 3 more, or 2 more in July, and then 5 in 2 more in June, 5 in July. I don't think anybody else has this information, so we'll be putting it in our newsletter tomorrow. Not much time to talk about infrastructure between now and Tuesday, but obviously you can add to it as time goes on. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I want to thank the board because I know you have a letter. I have some colleagues who are very nice personally, but I don't think sometimes they know what they're doing. And one of them, a nice guy from Staten Island, Frank Morano, really nice guy, but he has a bill, which I think you have a comment on, which is going to come up on June 22 in my committee, Government Operations, at 10 o'clock. And I don't support it. I told him that, but I believe in hearing everything. And this basically would say that the borough president would not be the only person to make appointments. The council member would also. As a former borough president, and I know the current borough presidents do not agree with that. I think it should be done by the borough president with the process that the borough presidents use, because I do worry that it would become more political than what it should be, and it should be done with a process where people understand that process. So I'm against that bill. Another bill which hasn't been put on the agenda now, and I don't know if it will be, Councilmember Williams, I think she doesn't like her district manager. I don't know. But the issue is that district managers would have term limits. Makes no sense to me. So I'm against that one also. It may come up in the committee. So I hope that if it does, again, I don't know how you do a resolution, but the district managers will, great. Okay, so the district managers, as usual, Community Board 4 is way ahead of the game. But I'm concerned about these 2 bills. And so people should be very loud about opposing them. And you should come if you can, or make people give testimony between now and then. So those are the concerns. We also did pass a bill that's a good one, and I think that says there should be more bike parking in the city of New York. And so we're making sure that that takes place, certain numbers around the city so that more people can have a place to put their bikes. And then if you get our newsletter, which I hope you do, you'll see that we have upcoming tree clinics. We have lots of issues regarding bike helmet giveaways, and then scams for older adults, how to avoid them. And then always June 21, which is the solstice, we have a wonderful program with music and food on Pier 1 on 70th Street by the Hudson River. I do think that the budget is obviously being discussed. I know that there are just an awful lot of up in the air discussions taking place. Now that the state is done, it helps a little bit, but we have a very short time period in which to put it all together. So I bring those to your attention. I also want to thank Joe and Paul and everybody, Jesse too, for helping with the ULIP regarding those 2 buildings on 54th and 11th Avenue. We're going to push for more affordable support for the DeWitt Clinton Park and other issues that we want to make sure take place in part of the ULURP. So we will fight like hell to make sure those happen. And I want to thank, as always, Community Board Ford for your help. Okay, where's Shula? Come on up, Shula, and come on up. We've got a wonderful proclamation, just like everybody else. I do think I have a lot to say about Jesse Bodine. That's your thing. You can take that, and then we can read it together. So it basically, Shula, would you please come up? Shula, would you please come up? Shula Pooter? Shula deserves to come up. She and I worked with Jesse Bodine for a very, 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 very long time. So we all know he's a public servant. He balances rigorous policy management with warmth and humor. Sometimes it's a funny humor. He understands emails, meetings, more emails, more meetings. He keeps track with dedication. He relies on caffeine, an uncanny ability to locate the office's best candy. And then he's a combination of procedural expertise, human connection, as you have heard from everybody here. He has a career of civic engagement from international development to the grassroots of New York City. He launched his journey for 4 years in the Peace Corps and a volunteer regional leader in Senegal. We know that because when people came into the office from West Africa, he started talking to them in Fulani or Wulu? Fulani, yes. He organized rural agriculture, community development there. He came back with a master's and got a master's degree from Hunter in social work, clinical casework, and tenant organizing. He did that in our office and got an extra degree so he could mentor and supervise social work interns. I think he wished he had never gotten that degree. He served as a graduate intern also for Liz Kruger, and you can imagine how lucky she was. Do you want to keep going on all this?
Where?
Refine his
Okay.
expertise.
Jesse refined his local expertise through years of collaboration with Council Member Gail Brewer across multiple levels of city government. From 2008 to 2013, he served as Council Member Brewer's Director of Constituent Service and Policy, liaisoning across agencies to address quality of life issues while navigating complex land use proposals from massive development to landmarking to passage of the Upper West Side Special Enhancement Commercial District zoning. When Gail became borough president in 2014, Jesse stepped into the role of director of community development for her land use division. In November 2014, he channeled his deep policy background into his passion as district manager for Community Board 4, earning the affection of New Yorkers from all walks of life, with the exception of the bus operators who sued him over a West 42nd Street stop dispute.
In the boardroom, he demonstrates selfless, generous approach to community needs. He navigates complex bureaucratic processes with absolute Zen-like composure. He guides the community through labyrinth uniform land use review proceedings, grueling public comment periods, confounding agency policies, and unique theater of Zoom-based civic deliberation. No matter how chaotic the parliamentary tangle or an unmuted microphone becomes during a public hearing, Jesse never loses sight of what matters most, that boards exist to be generally representative and inclusive to the communities they serve.
Whereas Jesse proves that individuals can bring their full selves to public service without sacrificing professional excellence. He fuels his civic purpose by writing comic books, contributing to the Community Board Ford Comedy Committee, deploying cookies at meetings, and drawing on his film background. Above all, his devotion to his family as a father, husband, and son grounds his hard work. Jesse embodies a standard of leadership that will inspire future public servants. Now, therefore,
Gail Brewer and
Carl Wilson
honor Jesse Bodine.
Wait, move away from the podium, yeah, so you can have a picture.
Jeffrey can get the good shot. Jeffrey can get that. Shula, come in. Shula. Come on.
I heard it was okay.
If you want, it's up to you.
Yeah. There is one more, I'm sorry, there is one more bit of business, and it's board business. So I am the acting chair of the Musical Comedy Committee. And Jesse is a esteemed member of the Musical Comedy Committee. So we have a little send-off, one last song that was authored by our former board and committee member, JD Nolan. So I would like to ask any members of the Musical Comedy Committee to please join me on stage. Maria, get up here. So this is for you, Jesse.
It's okay. They're just gonna learn really.
It's okay. There's no business like board business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing, even when your ass is growing numb. When 100 speakers leave you reeling and you are feeling it's really dumb. There's no people like bored people. They smile when they vote no, no, no. Even politicians ask them what to do, which way they should vote and stay true blue. Without CB4, they wouldn't have a clue. Let's go on with the show. Let's go on with the show. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you, committee. Thank you, Jesse. Congratulations. And well, congratulations for not working anymore, but thank you so much. You're welcome.
Oh, that was painful. All right. We are done with the electeds for now. If no one minds, I am going to flip the district manager's report.
Hey,
And I'll
sorry, I have a report from Assembly Member Linda Rose. Can you hear me?
Oh, Jesse, someone. Oh, Ben, hi, how are you? From Assembly Member Linda Rosenthal's office.
Yes, hi,
Ben,
how
go
are
ahead.
you? Yep, thank you. That's a tough act to follow, but I will be brief. The Assembly members.
Not that tough.
Right. The Assembly member is up in Albany and she wishes she could be here and send you off in person, but just wanted to pass along her and our office's thanks for your many years of partnership, as well as for me personally. It's been great to work with you. So thank you. Just wanted to provide a quick update. Like I said, the Assembly member is up in Albany in the final days of sessions. So we've had some incredible legislative wins this year. I know a few people have mentioned the new scree limit, which we're very excited for in our office. Helps people constantly with scree. So we're looking forward to the expanded pool of eligibility. The Assembly member has also had a few of her bills pass in the last week or two, including a bill requiring EpiPens in daycares, a bill requiring free menstrual products in private universities, and a bill banning the sale of distribution of any materials that help make 3D guns. We have a few community updates. I know the council member mentioned the issue with the Department of Youth and Community Development, and the Assembly member. We got a few calls from concerned parents, and we have sent a letter. The Assembly member sent a letter to the commissioner. So I have a copy of that letter if anyone's interested, and I will keep you all posted as we await a response. The Assembly member also penned a letter and a release calling for further city oversight of 4 buildings owned by the notorious landlord Stephen Croman. 3 of those buildings are here in CB4. So our office has been working closely and extensively with tenants in those buildings and all of the issues they've had. And we are now calling on the city to collect on hundreds of thousands of dollars in outstanding fines, as well as resolve many of the issues in his building. And then just a quick overview of events the Assembly member is hosting in the next month. We're having our widely attended Shred Day on June 16th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. in front of our district office. We're having 2 district events with HPD at the end of the month, one on June 22nd and one on June 29th, and those are both in front of the district office. We're having a legal clinic next week with Mobilization for Justice on June 12th, and that's monthly, and the next one will be on July 10th. And we are hosting a benefits clinic with HRA at Amsterdam Houses, which is a little outside of CB4, but all are welcome to join for that.
Thank you.
So thank you all. Have a good rest of your meeting.
Great. Thank you, Ben. We will go to the chair report because I do want the man of the hour to have the last word. So I just want to acknowledge, like everyone was saying, I think the borough president was saying, there are some new faces in the room. Last week, the borough president assigned our new appointees for community boards, and I want to welcome our newest members. I know some are online too, I believe, but if you could stand up and wave to us. Wendy Solomon, Tao Nguyen, Sam Deutsch, Sean Hallahan, Robert DeBruskin, Michael Wang, Justine Ortiz, and Jay Cotton. Welcome, guys. You are now in it. So, and at the same time, I want to thank some outgoing members who actually some are here today. Liam Buckley, Matt Green, Ella Kim, Chris LeBron, Shanice Mitchell, J.D. Nolan, Katie Savage, and David Warren. And I want to thank them for their many, many years of service. Thank you guys very, very much. And to incoming board members, this is not a usual meeting, how it usually goes. And I absolutely understand that you did not participate in any of the committee meetings nor discussions on the letters that are upcoming. So it's perfectly acceptable to abstain when voting. If that's what you guys are comfortable with, that's perfectly acceptable. Just want to go over a few points here. Today, we had a briefing on the West 42nd Street Lincoln Tunnel special activity and traffic conditions on World Cup match days, which we did not know beforehand. And I want to thank Christine for really leading the charge on that. And talking to the city and the street activity permit office just to get some details on that, which is really going right through our district. I want to thank the land use members, Paul Devil and Joe Restuccia, for making the trip down to City Hall on the hearing for the DeWitt Clinton North project. Paul, thank you very much. I heard you testified and we appreciate it on our letter. And I heard Joe could not get in the building. So I don't know if that's right, but I guess it was right. He was locked out or something. It was overcrowded. Okay, but they went down there. I am also very happy to announce that finally, is Carrie online? Can Carrie Keenan hear me? Because she's going to be happy about this.
I'm here.
Okay. Carrie, we now, Community Board 4 is officially on Instagram. So our username is Manhattan Community Board 4 spelled out. So if you guys go on now, it's Manhattan Community Board and then the number 4. Our first post went up today introducing ourselves to the Instagram world. And so far we have 3 followers, myself, Janine from the office, and a home care service in Kansas. So that's true. I have no idea how that got there, but go figure. So that's that. I also would like to introduce, there is moving forward a new committee. It is the EDPS committee. That's the Economic Development and Public Safety Committee. And the new chairs are Dolores Rubin, who unfortunately could not be here tonight, and Tina Nelson. Where's Tina? Tina, raise your hand. New chair of the committee. The mission. Yeah. Thank you, Tina and Dolores. The mission of the EDPS committee is to strengthen the well-being, safety, and resilience of our community by supporting effective emergency services and related agencies while fostering a thriving environment for local businesses. And the committee will be set up to advocate for coordinated and community-driven operations, promote transparent communications, and advance policies that protect residents and empower entrepreneurs. I do want to mention with the cannabis licenses and applications winding down, at least the original ones, this committee will absorb any residue tasks from that task force and issues, including the renewals. And the attention of this committee will also assume the calendar spot of Cannabis Task Force as well and meet the 3rd Thursday of each month, though we're still, right, Jesse, we're still, well, you won't be here, but we're still trying to figure it out. Yeah, Jesse's like, I don't know when it's going to meet. Exactly. So if some of you have already approached me to be on this new committee, but if there's anyone that is interested, please email me, call me, or just let me know, because we are going to do shuffling around a little bit with the new members on assigning committee appointments. Also, my last point here is obviously the district manager search. These past 10 days or so, we have been in and out of the community board office interviewing candidates for the district manager position. And as we narrow down the field, we are confident we will have a good fit for our board. And expectations are we will have a candidate for July full board to vote on. Be big shoes to fill, as we know, but we hope to come to you with a wonderful candidate for our community board moving forward, which is a good segue, actually, for the district manager's report. The only DM who we would miss game 1 of the Knicks NBA Finals for, Jesse Bodine.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jesse Bodine, District Manager of Community Board 4. My DM report is for the month of June committee schedule. BLP will be meeting on 2 different dates in June to make up for the schedule conflict in July. So the first meeting will be on its regular Tuesday, June 9th time. And then the second meeting will be on Tuesday, June 30th. The cannabis, as Leslie mentioned, the Cannabis Task Force will no longer be meeting, and it will be kind of folded into the Economic Development and Public Safety Committee, which I know we are working on finalizing the date. All other committees for the month of June will be meeting at their regular dates and times. All right, so I'm rolling, so we're going to talk now. All right. First, I want to thank the elected representatives and their staff for their kind words, and they're very, very, very kind words. And these proclamations, I know what it takes to pull them together, and it's not always easy. She's not here, and that's unfortunate, but I'm going to say it anyway. I want to take a moment to thank Gail Brewer indirectly. Because honestly, if it wasn't for her taking the chance on me 18 years ago, I would not be standing here today. I'm very lucky to have been able to cut my teeth in the world of public service in her shop. She, Shula, Rosalba are the definition of what a public servant is. Anybody that wants to understand how to do this in New York City, go be an intern for Gail. You can be 47, it doesn't matter, just do it. I will give a quick shout out because someone mentioned it. I did start very early on. I did my second internship in social work for Liz Kruger, State Senator Liz Kruger. Also amazing at what she does and has an amazing staff. But I've never seen a tactician in the Senate like Liz Kruger. And so that's also a masterclass. You want to go up there, watch what she does, how she does it. It's amazing. All right, so here's the tough parts. Right, before I begin, let's set a ground rule, okay? There's no crying in full board, okay? Because if you start crying, I start crying, and we're on a pier, and there's no flood insurance, and so it just gets messy. So I'm looking at Leslie, no crying. I'm looking at Maria. Where's Maria? No crying. Right, no Maria, no crying. Certainly Nelly Gonzalez, no crying. For some reason, yep, Randy, Rodney, no crying. And for some reason, Brad Pascarella too, no crying. Okay, so it has been truly an honor to be your district manager for the last 11 years. Month in and month out, I have been impressed with your efforts. I am proud of the way this board conducts itself and how that conduct and the letters you produce are respected across the city. I am proud that I was able to support this board's initiatives, such as the creation of the Affordable Housing Plan and the Hell's Kitchen Historic District Report, as well as the full repair of the Columbus Branch Library. And begrudgingly, even my role in the productions of the Musical Comedy Committee, chaired by the great Jean-Daniel Noland. One of those I know for certain is on YouTube. I forget the name, what you're supposed to search for. Does anybody remember the name, what you're supposed to, The Rent's Too Damn High? No, that's something else. What? Term Limits the Musical. Search Term Limits the Musical, and you will see it. So it's fantastic. I want to acknowledge and appreciate the 7 chairs I have worked with: Christine, Dolores, Bert, Lowell, Jeffrey, Jessica, and Leslie. It has been a pleasure. He's still here, good. Bob Benfado, who is my predecessor and my career rabbi. I want to thank him. I want to thank the organizations such as Hudson Guild, Mount Sinai West, Hotel Trades Council, Google, Clinton Housing Development for their generosity in donating space and staff for us to hold these types of meetings month in and month out. I want to acknowledge that over the years that board members have been there for me personally as well. This is where it might get a little tough, but remember the rule, no crying in full board. You were there during the sad times when you filled my apartment wall to wall when we sat Shiva for my father, with board members like David Warren making contributions to my father's favorite aid organization in his name for years after his death. You were there for the happy times, for the birth of my child, board members like Lowell Kern and others curating an enormous selection of classic children's books and gifts that still sit in Lev's room today. Is that it? Yep, sorry. I've lost my place. Yes, another happy time was when I made a short film and I unexpectedly needed someone to play the role of shopkeeper number 1, and board member Dolores Rubin jumped in at the last second. That is also on YouTube, but I'm not telling you the title. When Con Ed shut down Lev's daycare, and it was board member Brad Pascarella who provided me with his best emergency plumber to get the work done and the school back open in a month. And my favorite one, when my pants split from bottom to butt, 20 minutes before our full board meeting, it was Joe Restuccia who showed up with an extra pair of sweats. So I thank you all for all of those. It is not lost on me that tonight I am saying farewell to members like Christine Berthet, who literally hired me for this job, as well as the newest members who are attending for the first time. So I'm going to take a point of privilege and give you 2 pieces of unsolicited advice. Number 1, and I've said this before to some of you, so that's completely new information, but the process makes the product. I'm going to say it again. The process makes the product. CB4's strength lies in the conducting of open, fair, and consensus-driven processes. And to be clear, you all, board members, are the process. Robert's Rules of Order, committee structure, those are just tools in the toolbox to get there. Number 2, if the process doesn't seem to be working, then the product won't work either. Every time we have sacrificed process for product, it never worked out well. When things aren't working, don't wait till the next meeting. Walk home with the person together, pick up the phone and get lunch together, volunteer at Maria's coat drive together, or go out and get drinks together and complain about that pompous district manager, whatever it is. So in conclusion, there is absolutely no way I could have done what I did and lived the life I've lived for the last 11 years without 2 amazingly hardworking women. They are here tonight, and thankfully for you all, they will be here after, or they were here before me. That's what I meant to say. And thankfully for you all, they will be here after me. And so please treat them with respect and kindness. And they are Nelly Gonzalez and Janine Pretente Yusuf. I was going to tap Greg to do this, but everybody already did it. So there we go. Thank you all so much.
So we just have a few more things. Sorry. I know there is another proc from Tony Simone's office. There's a few more things. I know. We're rolling. And then Bob, did you want to?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Golden. I am Assemblymember Simone's Deputy Chief of Staff, and I have the privilege of being here today because our new council member, Carl Wilson, stole Ben from us. But I want to also introduce Marley, who is going to be joining us as community liaison. So we are very excited to have her joining the team. And for the main event of this evening, it's Jesse. When I first started with Tony, one of the first pieces of advice I got was, if you have a problem in CB4, email Jesse, because Jesse probably has the solution. And unfortunately, Jesse and I have never met in person before today, but we have a long, long chain of emails with each other. And so I'm going to be brief and not read the full proclamation, because we have many things that have been commented on by all of our fellow elected officials. Give me one moment. But a few excerpts from the proclamation, whereas, and this is from Assemblymember Tony Simone, who is up in Albany finishing up session. Whereas I am delighted to honor Jesse Bodine after 18 years of tireless service to the city of New York. And whereas through impeccable communications and relationship building, Jesse masterfully engaged city, state, and federal agencies on behalf of board members and residents of Manhattan Community Board 4 to guarantee the best possible outcomes for their needs. Whereas through Jesse Bodine's research and writing, Community Board 4, and Tony's especially excited about this one, produced an exemplary report on affordable housing needs and development opportunities in the CB, amplifying the urgency of New York City's housing crisis. And to conclude, whereas Jesse Bodine will be sorely missed by the residents and members of Community Board 4 and all who have had the privilege of working with him, now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Assemblymember Tony Simone, recognize Jesse Bodine as a leader and public servant deserving of the greatest acclaim and should be held in the highest regard. And be it further proclaimed that I, Assemblymember Tony Simone, on behalf of the New York State Assembly, bestow this honor upon Jesse Bodine for his exemplary tenure as District Manager of Community Board 4 and remarkable service to New York City through his life. Thank you so much, Jesse. One more, our friend Jordan Feiner also sends the regards of our great governor, Kathy Hochul.
All right, two more. Sorry. Bob from the bid, from Hudson Yards Hell's Kitchen bid. Your career rabbi.
I was saying I can't name the day after him, but I have stuff here for you and something for later when you're no longer on the clock. Just quick words. I'm Bob Benfato. I'm the head of the Hudson Yards Hell's Kitchen Alliance, which is the bid in the Hudson Yards Hell's Kitchen area. I met Jesse, was it 2008 or 2009? 2008, when he started working with Gail. And we worked together pretty much for years together. And then Gail became borough president and he moved on there. And I remember I called him one day and told him I was leaving the head to bid. And he started musing and going, really? Wow. He said, that's like finding gold in the street. No one ever leaves as district manager, although now you are. So he had the job for years and everyone's talked about all the great things he did, but I could mention three other things that weren't mentioned. He has to navigate city agencies. He does his district survey cabinet, which is not an easy thing to do because some agencies like to hold on to things that other agencies should be doing. He also was, I think you, for a while, you were the conference chair, right? For the budget conferences, with in charge of all the questions and everything all the agencies had to ask. And it's the type of things you don't see that he did. The other thing he was, I know this, not all board members are as calm and complacent as Joe Astucci. Some of them are more difficult. So it becomes almost like an HR job when you're trying to deal with people. And then even with chairs, I always loved all my chairs. I know he loved all his chairs, but they can be tiring sometimes, but it's understandable. They have a harder job because they're not getting paid. So, but I always used to tell him what an old district manager that I know, he always told him, don't worry about it. Chairs come and chairs go. And he also had to deal with bids. And you might have the most bids in this community board. And all people who have bids, except for me, have a big ego and are very hard to deal with. But I was probably the worst to him because he had a community director, not community planner once for years. And I had an opening and thought it'd be great if I would take her. And I took her. And I knew the moment he told her, because my phone buzzed, and I looked at the text, and it was from Jesse, and it said, "I know it was you, Michael." But in conclusion, I would just say he actually cares. He's hard to replace. He's the end of the line because the last three district managers have been named Borelli, Benfato, and Bodine. We begin with a B and end with a vowel, and that era is over. Actually, I think it was over 20 years it's over. But there you go. Seriously, I miss you.
And the last thing is from Jesse's former chairs. If I can have Jessica come up and Christine Berthet. Lowell Kern was here, Jeffrey LaFrancois was here. They had to go somewhere else to prepare. Yes, this is, so I remember when I won the chair, when I won the election, Jesse called me, it was on a Wednesday, and Jesse called me on the next Monday and said, "I wanted you to enjoy your win, but now I'm leaving." And I'm not going to cry because I'm not going to say any words that I said to you personally. But I'm crying because you're leaving and I don't know what to do. No, I'm just kidding. But I do want to say one thing, and this is from all his chairs. If you guys been to the CB4 new offices, there is a column there, and it's right in the middle of the meeting room. And Jesse said to me one day, "I want a plaque on that column that says he supported CB4 and sometimes was in the way." So here it is. And we're going to put this up in the CB4 offices. It's the Jesse Bodine column. And it says dedicated to our venerable and exceptional district manager, our main support and a pillar of MCB4, whose steady leadership and genuine care elevated our work and unity. Dedicated today. Thank you, Jesse. Give me a picture. Here, let's get a picture. Wait, come on, move over. This is up, right? That's for Instagram.
Oh, good. As long as I'm not.
Oh, I promise that's the end. Now we get, woof, it's a lot.
Have an hour to get through actual business.
Yes. All right. Sorry. Okay, now we're going into the working session, and this is just a reminder for those who are new or attendees, this is where committees present their letters and discussion is limited to board members. So we are going to start off with BLP. Frank, is that you tonight? Got it.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry to be the person to end the fun. I guess before we get to the main event, I wanted to see if there are any questions about the first 21 BLP matters, numbers 1 to 21. Anybody? Okay. The next item, which you've heard a lot about tonight, is 530 West 27th Street, which is between 10th and 11th Avenue. And I wanted to spend, I'm going to have to spend a little time on this. I'll try to be fast as I can because there's a lot to cover. And also, I think you'll hear that the committee heard virtually all and perhaps all of the issues that were raised during the public session, and we tried to deal with them as well as we can. We spent, I think, 2 hours on this one applicant at the BLP meeting, which was, there's a video, which is more than the time we spent on all 21 items put together. And even before that, we had 2 lengthy meetings in the months preceding the BLP meeting to try to refine the issues that Jesse, Nellie, Wendy, and I attended. So we've been working on this, I would say, for 3 months. For people who aren't familiar with this location, some history about it. This had been a warehouse Starting in 1989, it became a series of famous or infamous clubs, depending on your view. It was the Sound Factory starting in 1989. In 1995, it became Twilight, which closed. In 2011, there's sort of a new use there. An immersive theater company from London called Punch Drunk opened a show called Sleep No More in 2021, which took over the entire building. They renamed it the McKittrick Hotel. They got the entire building licensed, and it was basically a theatrical show where the audience could wander through the entire 6 floors of the building. That ran until 2025. The whole building was licensed. Some floors had licenses up to 4 a.m. The rooftop was licensed, and they had dining and events up on the roof. This went on until early 2025, and after a rocky startup, we were not aware of any problems going on at this location. Fast forward to what's before us now. We have a new applicant that has proposed a sort of mixed use, if you will, for the building. It is primarily going to be an entertainment venue. And just to go briefly, the way it's going to operate, it's a 6-story building. Floors 3 through 5 are going to be spaces for theatrical shows. The 6th floor is going to be a restaurant with some possibility of cabaret entertainment and other theater. The rooftop, they seek to have a small restaurant there and occasional private events. And going down to the bottom 2 floors, they will also be a theatrical event space, but they're asking to have those spaces open a little later for additional drinking and club-like activity. A couple things now. You heard a lot about what this place was originally proposed as, but if you look at the steps in the packet, particularly page 4 and page 9, you'll see that the committee spent a lot of time trying to limit and confine how the space is going to be used. First of all, no part of the space has a 4 a.m. license. 3 floors of it are closing at midnight. 1 floor is closing at 1 a.m. And there are 3 floors that are open till midnight on weeknights and 2 a.m. On weekends. So it is not a 4 a.m. club. Most importantly, they have agreed that the whole place will never operate as one club or one space. Various floors are going to have various functions. As everyone has acknowledged, before this plan got fully implemented, there were a handful, I think 6 or 8 events in the past year where the whole building was used, and that is what caused all the problems you've been hearing about. If you look at page 4, this answers some of the issues the commenting community members had. Each floor has a specific capacity number, and each floor has its own hours and its own hours for music. So if you look at that, you'll see, for example, the 3rd floor has a capacity of 135 people with the license ending at midnight. So these are the way each floor has to operate, and they can't sort of be combined into one mega club. The other thing is, you may question the entire operation. Is it going to be what they say it's going to be? I think we can take some comfort by the fact that it's already operating. They have a theatrical production. It's a musical parody of Heated Rivalry that is already running there. It's been running for 2 weeks. I don't think it's had any problems. They have a dance show coming in next week. And on the bottom 2 floors, as you heard, they have a booked, and it's already being advertised, another theater show. So I think the immediate track record shows that they do intend to operate this as, you know, a basically entertainment space with some additional sort of liquor usage to help pay the bills. I think the most difficult parts of this at the BLP meeting, we're dealing with the bottom 2 floors. We're calling it the basement and 1st floor, but it really isn't. It's really a basement level and sort of an open mezzanine that surrounds the basement where people can look down. This is where they are going to be doing theatrical shows in the evening, but they sought to keep it open very late. They made what I think is a big concession. It's going to close at midnight on Sunday to Wednesday and 2 a.m. on Thursday through Saturday, with music ending a half hour before that. with the thinking that will encourage people to leave earlier. The other issue is the rooftop. As I said, Sleep No More operated it as a thing called Gallo Green, where it had a capacity of 180 people, and it was open until 12 or 1. What they're currently proposing here is the same hours, but with a capacity of only 75 people, and all those people have to be seated. It's basically going to be a dining space, but people cannot hang around on the roof and just sort of drink at the bars. Everyone has to be at tables, and the one thing they also asked for is to have up to 12 events a year, but those will be capped at 12 private events a year, but those will be capped at 150 people. I could go on with what else we dealt with, but those were sort of the highlights, but I can answer any questions, as can other committee members. The committee vote ended up being everyone in recommending approval with 1 dissenting vote. Tina. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Oh, you want to take this?
Hold on, no.
Thanks. Just one quick question. A speaker earlier mentioned a concern or said that the applicant has requested a variance for amplified noise. And I didn't see anything, any stipulation about that. So I wasn't sure what was included in the application or if that was addressed.
I'm not quite sure what the variance is. They agreed, as you see, to mostly background music on a lot of floors. But I don't know. Wendy, do you recall, was there any variance presented or anything? Well, again, the presentation changed. As I said, we spent 3 months meeting with them to refine the presentation, and the committee spent a lot of time to pin things down.
No. Okay, so you are not aware in the current or the most recent application if
The
there's
most recent
anything about it?
application, we did what we always do. We got them to agree what kind of music would be in every space.
Okay.
And that is mostly background music, except for a couple floors, and there's only background music on the roof.
Okay.
And to my knowledge, they don't need anything else beyond
I
that.
was just going to say, if you'd like to, it's your prerogative, you can certainly ask the applicant to clarify that you want to do that. It's up to you.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Why don't you?
Yeah, Amy Ivchenko. I just want to reiterate everything that Frank said. The committee worked very hard on this. We went over every single point, and they conceded a lot, and we all felt very comfortable that this is a good thing for the neighborhood. So, thank you.
Anybody else on that side of the room? Yes.
Hi, everyone. Yes. Okay, as you are guessing, I voted against this application, and I'm voting against it again, and I want to tell you why, because very often we are all in agreement, but in this case, I'm not. So the facts is the preceding occupant was 700 capacity, and they were clearly an art organization. The new applicant is 1,556, which is more than double. So just the volume of participants is a concern when you get to 1,556. And then the hours of operation from the last applicant were at midnight, and they will go to 2 p.m. on weekends. There are 3 very large residential buildings around this organization, this building. So the first question is the roof. The CB4 policy states permitted rooftops must be a minimum of 10 stories above abutting residences. The board will give the concerns of surrounding residents strong consideration in its determination to recommend or not recommend such use, as well as the configuration of outdoor space. We have 3 very large residential buildings. They are all taller than the roof. So this is obviously not in line with our policy. All of the residents, as you have seen, except one, are opposed to the application. And then 12, there will be background music on the roof. Usually we don't approve background music. And 12 times a year, the roof will be used for private party, like wedding and bar mitzvah. And I don't know about you, but I don't know what is the last time I've seen a wedding with a background music. It just doesn't exist. The weddings are with big music, okay? So I don't understand how that's going to work. I think the noise created by so many arguments will be extremely disruptive to the residents. And this the major departure from CB4 policy will set a precedent. CB4 established such guardrails for exactly the purpose of protecting the residents, and it has been very successful the last 10 years to protect the residents. So if you would oppose such a roof on your block, you should vote against it. The traffic, with more than twice the occupancy of the previous operation and the addition of essentially a club of 724 patrons, the traffic of limos and Ubers is expected to be very intense. And they have proposed to put ushers on the streets, but it is doubtful that it will be effective, because when you have a VIP arriving, nobody wants to rush that person or kick that person out to let the cars move. We have the years of experience on One Oak on 17th Street, which we could not resolve. And last month, we had a meeting on West 28th Street, where a hotel has just created the same situation. So it's just, one block over. So residents can expect that there will be a lot of honking at all hours of the night. So again, if you would not want to have such traffic and honking on your street, you should vote against it. Finally, the trust. We have heard that the applicant is operating 4 one-day events on the streets, and they received a lot of complaints. And, they should have been stopping after the first one, but then they continued for 4 sessions. So, their behavior today does not augur well for them to respect the proposed steps. We had similar experiences at the Hudson Hotel with multiple methods of operation, and it took more than 2 years and a bankruptcy to resolve it. So if you do not want such an operator on your block, you should vote against it. So to the credit of the committee, CB4 always tries to balance the interest of the businesses and the residents. And I think we have been very successful at approving hundreds and hundreds of applicants while protecting the resident interest. In this case, I don't feel that there is the right balance. The club is too large. The resident will not be protected. And keep in mind that once the license is approved, this is very, very difficult to remedy the nuisance. So so again, if you feel that such a club would not be appropriate on your block, you should vote against it.
Okay, sorry, just to answer some of those while it's on my mind. So the 700 capacity was the first application by Sleep No More. They kept adding to the venue. They added the 6th floor, which had another 180 people. They added the rooftop, which also had 180 people. So the capacity has increased. Yes, the core of the thing was a theatrical event, but they had multiple spaces that stayed open afterwards with live music where patrons could stay and drink. One of the floors was licensed until 4 a.m. That was completely a bar, restaurant, entertainment space. I agree with you completely about the roof issues, and I have fought these all along. However, we approved the roof, which came to this community board separately in 2018 when the policy was in effect. So if there was any time to argue about the policy applied to this rooftop, I would say it was then. And at least I am taking comfort that what is being proposed now is smaller than what was going on there when Sleep No More had the roof license.
This is a good, hold on. Hold on, hold on. This is only for community board members. I think if I recall, what we approved in 2018 was a very quiet space because it was a theater space. Now,
It wasn't. It was called, it had a separate name. It was Gallo Green. They were very clear. There were two,
well,
two stand-up bars.
Right.
The hours were 12 and 1. They had background music and the capacity was 180 people. And these people are asking for 75 seated people for most of the year.
And to do some weddings.
But
12 times a year.
well, then it comes down to the trust factor. They haven't said weddings. They said private events. They're subject to the same hours, the same music limitations, and the same limits on
Look,
the music.
I don't want to argue back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's not, I wouldn't want it on my blog, and I don't think that anybody who would not like it on their blog should vote against it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Just so we're clear, everyone else on the committee voted for it. And I've spent a lot of time with these people trying to negotiate this. And I don't think club is the operative label for it. I wouldn't want a 2,000 seat club on my block. What I can,
2,000 club.
it isn't. That's what I'm saying.
700.
It's 700 people for 3 to 4 hours a night, possibly.
Again, I wouldn't want to take the risk in my neighborhood.
Okay.
It's a risk.
Thank you.
It's open.
Yeah, let's go on. I think there are other people that would want to. Charles, do you want to? Hold on, we're gonna get you a mic. We're just looking for people who want to comment. Correct,
Okay.
right.
Just a quick question for clarity, because I'm a little confused.
Okay. It's complicated, believe me.
So I just want to be clear. Open Monday through Saturday until 1 a.m., the rooftop? Did I get that right?
No, the rooftop.
No, wait, Frank needs to respond.
Sorry. I thought you were talking to me to work.
I was, but he
Oh.
was saying something.
The rooftop is open until, midnight, Sunday to Thursday, and 1 a.m. on the weekends.
Oh.
With music ceasing at 11 and 10 respectively.
And there's 4 residential buildings that are taller around
Yes.
the rooftop.
Yes. Well, across the street. And again,
Okay.
that is correct.
Wanted clarity.
That
Thank
is
you.
correct.
We have a time commitment. We have a lot of our letters, so future comments need to be either amendments, asking for amendments, explaining your vote, that kind of thing.
I just want to clarify that the previous Sleep No More and Gallo Green had background music on the roof. It was never an issue. There were no complaints.
I'm sorry, for just so you know, this is for the board discussion.
Okay,
Thank you.
so,
thank you.
yeah,
Okay, right?
all right.
I'm just going to answer questions at this point.
Yep, I think that's it. Anyone else for Frank? Sure, if you want to raise an amendment. You have to just go on mic, Christine's right in front of you, right there.
Yeah. So it's not a friendly amendment, but I'd like to change the resolution to oppose. And if there is a second, then.
So is that different from voting against?
She's making a subsequent motion to deny the application. Is there a second? There's a second, so we have a vote.
Yeah, now we have to have a vote. Okay, so.
So is there anything that?
Hold on,
Right.
hold on.
Sure.
I have 10 or 11 to 1.
Okay. On the motion
That Christine just made.
I'd like to speak on the motion to deny, and keep in mind, one of the public members did speak on this, and it was one of the compelling reasons that I have always voted in favor of the SLA letters, is that if we vote to deny, all of our stipulations are erased, and SLA can approve with whatever conditions and stipulations they want to use. So our denial would mean all of this negotiation is wiped off the table.
Usually what we say is we deny, and in case the SLA wants to approve.
But the motion is simple denial, Christine. You made the motion for deny
Okay.
without conditions.
All right.
That's your motion. I'm speaking on that.
Okay, so why don't we vote on the motion? All in favor of changing the letter to deny outright with no conditions? Is that correct, what you just said, right, Paul? And then Christine? Yep. Raise your hand.
Keep your hands up, please. Especially online, just keep them up because I'm in the room counting. Up for denial. This is for Christine's motions that was seconded. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking online now. If your hands are up, please let me know. I see no hands. Is that correct? That's correct.
Correct. I
Okay.
think we have 4 members online. 4. Oh, 5, sorry, Mike Noble.
Okay, but I don't, none
Nope,
of
not
them
hand up.
have their hands raised. So
Oh,
I have
wait,
4 in the room for in favor of that
Okay,
motion.
everyone not for the motion, hands up, please.
1, 2, 3.
And there's online too, Jess. I don't know if you saw them.
35.
And then
minutes.
any abstentions? Present not eligible? Okay,
So the
the
motion does not
not go
carry. That
through.
was 4 yeses, 35 noes.
okay. Yep, so the letter is going to be as written when you vote on the regular vote sheet. Okay. Thank you, Frank. HHHS. You still have that one letter, right, Joe? Okay. I believe there's a.
So this is an amazing project in front of you. We have a new middle income project coming to our district, and it is 67% affordable and 33% market rate, 51 units, and it will serve people making at a middle income rate between 164,000 to a maximum of 251,000 for a family of 4. This has getting no capital subsidy whatsoever from the city, only a Article 11 tax exemption. And this will have a 40-year tax exemption. Here are the things that we're still concerned about. We want to make sure there's longer term affordability. We brought this up in the case of Mitchell Lama. Things expire, people still live there. We want to get clarification on the apartment resale policy to prevent windfall profits. That we want to make sure the primary resident agreement requirements and sublease limitations are very specific. And if there's special assessments, how do we manage that to keep it affordable? We also spent a lot of time working on the facade of the building and the height. And this is the old Tootsie Roll factory on the south side of West 45th between 9th and 10th. And the response has been excellent. And the result looks like it's an old factory building. Thanks. Any questions?
Nope, thank you, Joe. And Maria. ACES, I understand, Jeffrey, you're presenting the letter tonight? Great, thank you.
Thank you. I'll be very brief with respect to item 25. It's a little bittersweet that we get to commemorate 2 integral members of our community board, Jesse as well as Bob Bender. This is a simple acknowledgement of the dedication and perseverance of one of our most important community leaders that has raised 15,000 of our elementary children. So this is simply an acknowledgement of his public service over 21 years. If there's any questions, happy to answer them, but that's effectively what the letter does.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Next, Clinton Hell's Kitchen Land Use, Rachel.
Happy Pride Month and happy Immigrant Heritage Month, everybody. So before you, we have one letter from Clinton Hell's Kitchen Land Use in support of funding for the Rethread Project. The Rethread Project is a nonprofit in support of the costume and garment industry. It is seeking discretionary funding in support of acquiring 300 to 500,000 square feet for the custom and garment companies. Just a quick note, as noted in the letter, they may not end up in our district because they're still looking for a building. But we have, as you know, a longstanding history in support of preservation of the Special Garment Center District through various rezoning Hudson Yards, Western Rail Yard, and MSMX. So we think that the ReThread initiative will continue to support our support of the industry. Any questions?
Thanks, Rachel. Transportation, Jesse, I think it's you, right? There's
Yep.
4 letters.
Yes.
You could, if you want to go right there. you
I'll
have the
stand
mic.
right here.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, everybody. We have 4 letters. They're all relatively straightforward, but let me just talk to the couple that were mentioned this evening. The e-bike charging, DOT is presenting a plan to put in these battery swap stations, a plan that we supported in a previous letter last year, but now they're coming back to us with some specific locations of where they want to put them, and we are not so crazy about those locations. So we heard from at least one speaker publicly, and we are in agreement that there are some better sites in our neighborhood for those. And we're also encouraging DOT to really look at how to shift some of the cost away from the actual users of the program, the delivery drivers, onto the delivery apps to actually encourage more battery swapping and to do things like ban. There's some friendly amendments about making sure that there are no advertisements on the battery chargers stations. There's also a letter about the Halloween parade and where that drops off. Obviously, it is very well attended. This upcoming year, it'll be on a Saturday night. 80,000 plus people participating, and they all have been previously being let out on West 16th Street. So you can imagine the residents there are not too fond of that. So we have made a number of recommendations to the police department, to the and to the organizers about how to adjust the parade. So that's that. And I'll leave it there. Any questions? I could talk about the Sullivan Street Bakery. Sure. The Sullivan Street Bakery came to us to ask for, currently they have a 75-foot commercial parking spot or commercial standing spot in front of their space, but it includes a fire hydrant directly in the middle of that 75 feet. And them trying not to break the law, they're having trouble because they get 50,000 pounds of flour dropped off every week. And that is a very large truck that does that. And it cannot park in front of the spot. So they're looking for a little bit more space to accommodate that truck, which we're happy to provide. Also, they have 3 vans that continuously run around. One of them actually named after our chair, bears her name. The Leslie
I like
van.
sugar. What can I
Yeah,
say?
well, Leslie Van. And so they're usually in continuous operation, but every once in a while they need a place to park for just a few hours. And we want to try to give them at least one spot on their own street. They seem to be very good and active neighbors in complying with the law and making sure that they are parking accordingly. You have a question? Great. Here, I'll up.
Thank you very much. So on the Sullivan Street Bakery, I do appreciate that they're a great neighbor in Hell's Kitchen, but my concern is more with respect to our role as the community board. The way the letter is written as it stands, it sounds like an advocacy for an individual operator's logistics as opposed to a community-based concern. So, and if I understand correctly, I believe DOT, who we were addressing the letter to, decides the curb usage based on how it is used, the use category, not by the individual operator. And the mention of the fire hydrant, can be taken as a public safety requirement. So just wanted to be mindful of the phrasing of the letter. And if I were to make some suggestions, maybe the first step would be, if it hasn't been conducted, a survey or a study asking the DOT to kind of take into account the other needs of businesses, neighborhoods, users of that curb, or if we do have the insight, again, framing it as kind of a community concern for the other businesses, entities in the area.
I think we regularly, listen to concerns about parking and situations block by block, either from residential buildings about there not being enough parking in front of their building and or being too much parking, about commercial. These are very easy fixes that we can make to help address problems on a particular block. It's not in defense of any particular entity. We're not saying that this is a commercial spot reserved for this bakery. Anyone is able to use it. It is simply a matter of efficiency on the street and making sure that there's a place to park.
We asked them to do a survey of the block before they came, and they did. And we got letters from other people on the block supporting their request. So, right. So we can mention that if you want in the letter. And then what Jesse is saying is that we do it all the time. I mean, for parking, somebody comes, they ask for change. We ask them to do a survey of the neighborhood. And then based on the survey and the fact that on the block people are supporting it, then we carry the message.
I think that's really helpful. So again, my comment wasn't individually with respect to the bakery, but I think that would strengthen the letter on behalf of the bakery and other users of the neighborhood, because it's not us prejudging the outcome. You're actually providing community insight that you're saying we have. So that'll be helpful. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Oh, we got one down there. Inga.
So we did a letter similar to this a couple of years ago for the chain theater on West 36th Street. They are a small theater, came before ACES years ago when they first started. They have been asking for help from the community board ever since they started. They still get tickets for unloading and loading their sets. So this is a theater that must load and unload, and I don't know what we've done for them. I don't think
I don't know
we've
if
done
they've ever
anything.
come in front of.
They have.
Yeah, we'd love to have them in front of the
They've
transportation
been to
committee.
transportation.
Wait, this is
and
not what the letters are talking
So-
about.
talking to Rachel's discussion about a specific individual versus a street versus one business versus all businesses, we should make it more neutral and try to do it for all businesses, not just an individual one.
Thank you, Inga. Anyone else? No? Thank you, Transportation. Clue, I know you have one letter, correct?
We do have one. Item 31. The applicant sought approval to replace windows at Sherrod Hall. Sherrod Hall is Vanderbilt University at the General Theological Seminary campus. We acknowledged that the proposed operation was different than the normal double hung configuration like we like to think at Clue. But because of the focus on energy efficiency and substantial environmental operational benefit, we certainly do support this change. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Greg. Our last, oh, no, not our last letter, I'm sorry. Our letter is coming out of exec. I think, Jesse, you also are going to present this letter. This is the one that Councilmember Brewer was mentioning.
I can, yeah, sure. So as Councilmember Brewer mentioned, there is a bill outstanding that will basically say, that's been presented to the City Council, that will basically say that half of the community board seats will continue to be filled by the borough president, and half of them will be appointments from city council members. And there really isn't much more detail than just that. So it doesn't speak to the method by which community board, the council members will pick. It doesn't mention an application process or anything like that. So I've listed out 5 points of why I think that's not reasonable, and it's not really transparent. I have taken as a friendly amendment an ability to just combine the first and second points and make them just a little softer. But other than that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last is Marty, I think it's you, because WPE, what is it, not quorum, correct? So it's new business? Am I reading that correctly? Okay, thank you. Is it on? The green light's on?
You already heard the punchline on this letter with the conversation with the senator. I still hope the board will approve this letter so that we can go on record as taking a stand to support this very important legislation. I think the letter speaks for itself. Questions? Go.
Marty, are we going to update the language to incorporate the update from Senator Botcher?
I think the first paragraph might ought to have a slight word change in it.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
I was very sorry to hear what the senator said. A little bit pissed, to be honest with you, but hey, this is an evening of celebration, not of being pissed off. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, now I'll have our co-secretaries come up to do the roll call. I think it's Brennan tonight is coming up. I just want to remind people when you're voting, item number 23 is tabled on your vote sheet, and item number 32 is sent back to committee on your vote sheet.
And for everybody, I realize the digital vote sheet was sent somewhat later than it normally is. So just if you are planning to vote digitally, you look in your email, it should be there. But we do have, for folks in the room, we do have paper vote sheets.
Right. Oh, come on up. Sorry.
You can put that on my, write me up later, Christine.
All right, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, so after we go through all the votes, we just like all the board members to come to this side of the room for a quick photo. Awesome, thanks. Okay, so start with the votes. Ted's not here, so we're gonna go to Roberta. No. Yeah, not here. Christine. No on 22, yes to the rest. Yeah. Christine Berte. Yeah, working on it. All right. Viren, not here. Okay. Jessica Jade. Yes to all. Kevin Collins. Yes to all. Jay Cotton. Not here?
No, she's here.
Oh.
You need to come off mute, Jay.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, yeah, you can vote. So however you like to vote, just let us know verbally.
I would like to not vote right now because I don't have enough information. Sorry.
Understood. Don't worry about it. So she's abstaining.
So you can abstain, Jay. That's okay. We don't expect it. There's no pressure. Sorry.
No problem.
We just called you out on Zoom. We didn't mean to.
It's okay. Thank you.
No, we did mean to. It's just okay that she just. That's what we do.
Did mean.
So we'll come back at the end, or
no. She's abstaining. So
oh,
you will list her
abstain.
abstaining all the way
Got it.
down.
All right. So Jay abstained to all.
Lisa David's not here.
Okay, thanks. Martin DeCutt. Yes to all. Sam Deutsch.
Not here.
Not here, thank you. Paul Devlin. Yes to all. Pete Diaz. No to 22. And yes to the rest. Thank you. Robert, sorry about this. DeBrunsky. Is that right?
Yeah, yes to all.
Yes to all. Great, thanks. Jeffrey Gardner. Awesome, thank you. No to 22. Yes to the rest. Thomas Garza. Yes to all.
Everybody please be quiet.
You guys
Makes
do
it really difficult for the secretary to do their job.
Thanks, Jesse. Wendy Gonzalez. Yes to all.
Matt Goodstein is not here.
Thanks, Jesse. All right. Jesse Greenwald. Yes to all. Aaron Hoffman. Great. Yes to all. Sean Houlihan. Yes to all.
David Halok is not here.
Right. Thanks, Jesse. Frank. Yes to all. Thanks, Olivia. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, David. I apologize.
Sorry, David. Yes to all. Great, thanks.
You are hiding
Jo-
in the
Jo-
audience.
Josephine Ishmon. Abstain on 22 and yes to the rest. Thank you. Okay, so sorry about this. Inga. Okay. Okay. Yes to all. Thank you. Okay. Carrie Keenan.
Yes to all. Happy Pride and thank you, Jesse Bodine.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes to all. Matthew Klein. Yes to all. Rachel Lee. Yes to all. James McDonald.
Yes to all.
Yes to all. Ellen Markman. Yes to all. Sanford Miller. Yes to all. Charles Montaro Archer. Yes to all. Gregory Morse. Yes to all. And the chocolate chip cookie. Great. Tina Nelson. Yes to all. Thank you. Tao Nguyen. Yes to all. Great. Thank you. Michael Noble.
Yes to all and submitted.
Great. Thank you. Yes to all. Okay. Ortiz Justine.
I don't believe she's here.
I'm not here. Thank you, Jesse. Maria Ortiz. Yes to all. Great. Thanks. Alan Oster. Yes to all. Okay. Brad Pascarella. Great. Thanks. Yes to all. All right. Joe Restusha. Yeah. Yes to all.
Dolores Rubin is not here.
Thank you, Jesse. Brian Sloan. Not here. Thanks. Wendy Solemn. Yes to all. Awesome. Thank you. Katie Stokes. Yes to all. Thanks. Hector Vasquez. Okay. No to 22 and yes to the rest. Michael Wang. Yes to all. Rodney Washington. No to 22. Yes to the rest. Alice Wong. No to 22. Yes to the rest. And then for the last two, me, Brennan McGrath, I'm going to say yes to all. And last but not least, Leslie Boghosian Murphy.
Yes to all.
Yes to all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brennan. And
Okay.
may I have for Jesse Bodine, last round of applause. Thank you, Jesse. Woo! And we have a nice cookie cake. And do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you online, Robert and Carrie,
Nick, sit down by
Jay,
5.
James, and Sam. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Photo now.
Oh, yes, there's a photo, guys. I think Alice is trying very hard.